Alright, hey guys, this is Brian doing another drum lesson video. My first lesson, talking a little bit about drum beats, talking about a basic rock drum beat. And this week we added another drum beat, and we're going to try and put those two together. And it's very important to start working on, once you start building some drum beats, to start putting them together. And that's where music comes from. Lots of songs are, the beats aren't great in the songs because, sorry, I'm getting a little bit sick here, I think. The songs are great because of the one single beat, but because of something else that complements that beat. So you might have something like as simple as, but then, if the second time around you add in just a little bit of a variation, whatever the bass player might be playing, or wherever the guitar note might be accenting a little bit, whatever beat you're playing on the drum might fit that piece well. So the first basic beat we had was we're just playing eighth notes on our hi-hat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're playing beats 1 and 3 on our foot, and then we're playing 2 and 4 on our snare. So put together it's going to sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then the second beat we're going to have is we're going to have 1 and on the bass drum, 3 and on the bass drum as well. So 1 and 3 and. So it's going to be counted like this: 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we're just adding the 2 and 4 back on the snare. So it's going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're going to add that first beat along with our second beat. So the first beat was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Second beat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We're just going to piece those two together: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now we're going to add a simple 4 notes across the drums, drum fill at the end. This is be in 16th notes, which is twice the speed of an 8th note. So if you got this going, and this is your 8th notes: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Our 16th notes are going to be spelled out like this. We have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. I'll play it on the kick drum so you can hear a little bit clearer. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. So it's counted out: 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. That's a 16th note. So we're going to put that across the drums for our drum fill. Now if you have a drum set where you have 4 drums going across, which is pretty traditional, you're going to hit the 4 notes going across. I have this set up to where on my electronic kit, this is the ride cymbal, this is the snare, high tom, floor tom. So for me, I go 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. But I'm just going to play it across the 4 for the demonstration, just so it's a little bit easier to see. It's real, all it is 4 hits per drum, but you're going to hear 4 ride cymbal hits as opposed to normally this is going to be your tom. So it's going to sound like 1 E and 2 E. Okay? So we're going to play our 2 beats, and then we're going to play that fill phrase at the end, and then we're going to come back to our beat, and I'm going to talk a little bit about coming back to the beat, coming back to the 1. So it's going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. Now, a big problem with beginning drummers and still, intermediate, advanced drummers, if you're playing something that, you're not used to, you have to learn how to get back to the 1, because you want to come back to your beat. A big problem a lot of drummers have is they can do this fine, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then right here, when you hit your crash cymbal, you're coming right back to the, so it's a little bit tricky. So it's going to go 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and 2. So your first beat is being played on your crash cymbal. So it's going 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and 2. So it's your right hand and your right foot together going 1. The and a 1's being played on your hi-hat, and then you're playing together with your hands, your right and your left. 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? So we're learning now the separation of the notes, and I want to keep this lesson, I'm doing these lessons for a student, and I want to keep it on track. But for a little bonus, ultimately what we're trying to learn here, obviously we're learning drum beats, we're learning how to piece them together, we're learning how to come back to our 1 very nice transition. But we're learning how to separate notes, so we're working with, right now, we're working with quarter notes, we're working with 1/8 notes, and we're working with 16th notes. So a good exercise to do, we're just going to play quarter notes on our bass drum. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to do that with our hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to switch to 1/8 notes with our hands, but the whole time we switch to the notes, we're going to keep the quarter notes going with our bass drum. But this is going to stay 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I want you to try and do to just start, if you're a beginning drummer, if you've been playing for a while, you're falling asleep right now, or you're turning this video off. We're going to count out loud to feel the 1/8 notes. So it's 2 notes per quarter note, gives you the 1/8 note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. And I'm just saying the 1 2 so that you can feel out that there's 2 notes per quarter note. So we're going to try and keep the quarter notes going with our foot, and then we're going to try and add in the eighth notes with our hands. So we got 1 2 3 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. If you notice, whenever the bass drum kicks, it's going to be landing with your right hand, and then a left note's going to be played. So it's going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now we're going to try 16th notes, which is a quarter note, each note broken into 4. So it's going to be 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. Oh, I'm sorry. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. So the sticking for this is the first note, your foot and your hand are going to play together, and then it's going to go left, right, left after that, and that's going to give you the 1. E and are going left, right, left. So it's going 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So this is a good basic note value exercise to do, to just go from the quarters to the eighths to the 16ths. So we're just going to start 1 2 3 4. I'm sorry, I'm messing up. 1 2 3 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1 So this week, concentrate on 2 drum beats, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and a 3 and 2. Work on that transition coming back. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And always remember, practice slow. Going fast is not going to do anything for you. I had so many things that I heard they were awesome. You just want to just fly, and you hear John Bonham from Zeppelin going. You don't just do that. You got to sit there for hours going. And slowly speed things up. It's the same thing with this. Same thing with our basic drum beats. And you want to really concentrate on having that smooth transition coming back to the one, because if you plan on playing with a band and you're not coming back on the one, you're going to throw everybody off. And you know, playing simple and playing concentrating on your good fundamentals, making sure you're coming back to the ones on the beats, and you know, you're playing solid beats behind it. That's the most important thing. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you learned something, and until next week, enjoy.